This LEGO Star Wars set is one that I feel will go down in history as a near-perfect set, but will be very forgettable because it was so close to perfection, and it just didn't meet that perfection mark. I will talk about the thing that would have made this set perfect in just a moment. But first, this is set 75407, the Star Wars logo, has 700 pieces, it's part of the 18 plus line of LEGO Star Wars sets, and let me get this out of the way now, this set is absolutely fantastic. At its £60 price point, it's already fairly priced. And if you compare it to other £60 sets, it definitely holds its value. If you look at the build, although this one obviously doesn't have minifigures, whereas a lot of £60 sets have minifigures and also have a similar sized build. But a price per piece of £700 to £60 is definitely a decent price per piece. I'm not going to look into it. But in my head, it'd be about 9p per piece, which it's not bad. The logo itself is absolutely amazing. There is absolutely no studs showing on the actual yellow bricks, and this was a super fun and unique building experience. The greebling on the black pieces is super unique, and that is where you are going to see some studs being shown. The only noticeable studs on the set is at the top here, these two at the top. The techniques used to accomplish all these unique angles of the lettering, it was just super fun to piece together, especially when you're doing the S and the T, or the R and the S, the letters that just flow together like that. I particularly found those really fun. And the way that you build it all up, not just one letter at a time, you build it all up, all the letters at the same time. Well, obviously per word. You build Star first and then Wars. Meaning that at the end you're left with something like this, and you're asked to just place it together like it is seen in the box. They even invented a couple new pieces for this set. I can't really show them very well. Wait, actually, on the W, this piece here, it's always been a thing in that type of angle, but it's always had like this grill texture, whereas now it's completely flat. I'm not sure if it's the first time being used in this set, but it's the first time I've ever seen it, and that was super cool, just seeing that piece. It was kind of cursed for me, though, as I do use that grill piece in a lot of mocks. On the top, inside of the T, you can take off this paddle, revealing a little Easter egg inside. You see a microscale Tantive 4 and Star Destroyer, although they are nowhere near to scale with each other. The Tantive is literally just 3 pieces, and I think with 3 pieces, it actually looks like a Tantive. You can tell what it is. And the Star Destroyer is a bit less recognisable, but you can tell it's a Star Destroyer if you are a Star Wars fan. This was definitely a very nice Easter egg to split up the build process, and it's a very fun little feature. Anyway, the question you have all been asking for the last 2.5 minutes, what could have made this set perfect? And that is the George Lucas minifigure that this set was rumoured to come with. The George Lucas LEGO minifigure is one of the rarest in history, being worth over thousands of pounds. And it would have been amazing to get a unique and brand new one for this set. I would have loved to see what different prints and hair pieces they could have used for this minifigure. Especially with Marvel, we got Dave Filoni, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Avengers Tower did come with one of the writers for Marvel. Well, I do think it should have came with Stan Lee instead, but it did come with, I believe, Dave Filoni. But again, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure if it was him. So it's actually kind of ironic that Marvel gets a actual writer, whereas Star Wars doesn't. Although, to be fair, it would make a lot more sense if later this year, in the £1,000 Death Star, we do manage to get a George Lucas minifigure. Although, I kind of see Disney going out of their way to make LEGO put a Kathleen Kennedy minifigure instead of George Lucas, which would absolutely ruin the set in my eyes. And make it so that this set definitely should have came with the George Lucas minifigure, as it's a absolutely fantastic set. But I feel that George Lucas minifigure was a must-have. Even if it would have increased the set by £5 to £10, I would have paid £70 for this set if it came with a George Lucas minifigure. Or even a Darth Vader or a Palpatine, or I don't know, any really iconic Star Wars character that's like the face of Star Wars. But obviously that's George Lucas, and that's just what we didn't get, and it's kind of a wasted potential in that regard. I still think this set is absolutely fantastic, and I don't think they could have done any better with the actual logo. And I think this absolutely clears the Marvel logo in terms of design, even the playability. I think it's just a bit excessive. All the minifigures and the play features within, it's just excessive once again. And very unnecessary, because that set was £90, $100. That set is super overpriced, and the minifigures and the play functionality inside of it definitely does kind of ruin that set. Because this sleek build design, it just looks a lot better on a shelf, compared to just a completely red blank box, which definitely would have been better at a £60 price point like this set. And I'm not going to have a rant about the Marvel logo. This Star Wars logo is definitely a much better set, by the way. And that's why I'm going to give it a 9.2 out of 10. Just like I gave the recent gift with purchase, by the way. Again, this is a near-perfect set. That George Lucas minifigure would just... No George Lucas minifigure just killed it. And that's why I'm giving it a 9.2 out of 10, and with the George Lucas would have been a 10 out of 10. Anyway, let me think of this set. Do you think it's good value? Are you going to pick it up? And thanks for watching. Bye.